This is Cortana. And remember, don't make a girl a promise if you know you can't keep it. As always, Spartans, see you online.
Oh, hello. Daddy D. Wally here, and welcome to the Nerd Chat, an Xbox podcast celebrating all things gaming, food, and the good old days. We are recording live on October 3rd, 2024. And tonight, man, we're going to be talking about Rest in Pieces. And of course, Shattered Space sucks. Just kidding, it's okay. And was Big Box right all along? Steam Hardware Survey 2024, something about Dragon Age Game Pass, and joining me as always is Praise to the Great Serpent. Chipotle Bear, how are you?
I'm doing great, man. I'm currently in the middle of homecoming week at school, so it's been a long week of events. Very fun, of course. Happy to excite.
Somebody shut that dog up!
They're barking at something. I apologize. I'm doing great, bud. Happy to be here. Let's talk about some games.
And he's hurt, you guys. 0 hot takes today from X.
Believe that when I see it.
Bacon Gaming.
Oh, the concerning thing is, whenever I go through our shorts on YouTube, my face is on like 85% of them. So that means I put a lot of hot takes out there that end up getting clipped and put in our shorts. So no hot takes, Jason, is a very boring bacon.
Jason?
Who's Jason? Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm gonna be boring just to not make Joe angry. And
Hey,
so
Joe can suck my
Joe
ass.
brought
You
me
say
up
what you
on-
want, Bacon.
Joe brought me up on like 3 different podcasts this week. So that means I'm definitely living rent free in Joe's head. So this is kinder, gentler, Jason. But I want to take a second and shout out our man Jose, who was named Employee of the Month for Bear Creek High School and was also named Vice Principal or Assistant Principal of the Month this morning. So I'd like to give a huge shout out to our man Jose. Golf clap.
Thank you, Bacon. I appreciate that. But thank you, Nell. I appreciate that very much.
How do you know that came from her?
Who's sucking up to Jose these days?
I don't evaluate Nell anymore. She's great. Sorry, continue. Bacon, we love to have you. Honestly, great exposure for the show, to be honest with you.
Yeah, exactly. Any take is a good take, Bacon.
But I did get some good mail today. My new driver showed up, and I'm going to take it to the range tomorrow after work, put in some work, because I've only got about 3 weeks left in the season before the snow is going to shut us out. So I got to get that work in now.
Is this the snow, or is it just the cold weather and bad greens?
It's cold
grass
and
condition?
hard greens and leaves everywhere that hide your ball. It's pretty frustrating.
By the way, everybody listening and watching, just remember, Bacon, this is what happens when you have dual income, no kids. Bacon buys drivers.
You're the one that's talking about buying a new car for just fun.
Oh, he talks about buying a new car.
I've been talking about for how long now?
Don't even tell me. You already own 2 cars and you want to add a third to the mix so you can scooter around Denver.
By the way, speaking of cars, it was pretty funny that I was when Allie's parents came in to watch us from. I don't know, guys, if you noticed, but I'm back from beautiful Waikiki Beach, Hawaii. I'm unfortunately
I didn't know you went to Hawaii.
To the real world here, but so the van was getting the oil change, and when her parents came over, Allie's dad's like, "Oh, where's your vehicle?" Like the van is just my car, you know. He just loves to rub it in. Hey, where's your minivan, Daniel? You know. Appreciate that.
Was he challenging?
Speaking of driving a minivan, I didn't know. I forgot that he had an excellent Kia Carnival.
Heck yeah!
Shout out to Rip 55, Rip 14, Bubble Boy N7. How are you?
Yeah, it's a sad week. Obviously, we've lost some sporting greats. If you didn't know, 55 Dikembe Mutombo.
Hold on, Chance. Let's hold in that, Jose. Let's jump into shout outs for the week, Jose.
Doesn't even give his intro all the way.
Because too many rest in pieces. Bubble Boy, you're getting hit real hard. Because to me, I was like, that's sad. But I'm not like, you wanted to make the episode thumbnail around Dikembe. I'm just like, okay.
He did make the episode thumbnail around Dikembe.
He suggested it.
It makes a lot of sense, too, for what we're going to talk about in the little finger wag, the not in my house. And then Pete Rose, both of whom for very different reasons. But Pete Rose has always had a small.
Oops.
Okay, we're
What?
getting some feedback here.
That was me.
Bacon is pumping her
sorry.
stats over there.
Yeah, and so Pete Rose, all-time leader in hits in Major League Baseball, and gambled on other games and been kept out of the Hall of Fame forever, which is just an absolute outrage.
Yeah.
We'll get in posthumously, however you say that word, but lost to sporting greats, and so too. Can we also stop doing QBR? Can we rip QBR quarterback rating? I don't know if you guys watched. I know Dan's a huge Lions fan, so he probably watched. But Jared Goff went 18 for 18 this last Monday, and had 3 touchdowns, and somehow didn't have a perfect quarterback game. They're like,
I didn't know that.
yeah, and he had like 294 yards.
What? Really? What did he?
Yeah,
What was he
game.
missing?
They said it because the touchdowns weren't long enough or something. It was like the number of passes wasn't enough for the number of yards. Is the dumbest equation in on the planet. And the fact that because do you know what a perfect QBR is?
158.3.
There you go. Okay, so you explain that to me, and then who knows? So,
man.
but in all
Sad that I know that.
seriousness, rip Dikembe, rip Pete Rose.
Yeah, for listeners who don't know, Dikembe Mutombo was a famous Denver Nugget basketball player, center, came from, I don't know what country, I feel bad.
Congo, Republic of Congo.
And whenever he would block someone, he would literally, in the middle of the play, start waving his finger. And
Not in my house.
Not my house. And there's a famous clip of him. He
Against
has like
Seattle
3
with
stuffs in a row,
Yep.
and he's doing it in between
Yep.
the stuffs, which is
What
crazy.
about when they eliminated Seattle? And
Yes,
he's laying
and,
on the
yeah,
free
and he
throw
starts
line and
crying with
yeah.
the Nuggets because the Nuggets made it to a playoff game. That was probably the last time they did anything, which is
what?
crazy.
No,
And-
that was
that
when
was
they
to
beat them in
advance.
Game
Yeah.
7.
I know they were like an 8 seed, if I'm remembering.
Yeah,
correctly, or something
and
like that.
yeah, it was a big deal.
That was the bad Nuggets too. But anyway, for you non-sports fans, and then Pete Rose is the hits leaders,
Yeah.
correct?
Oh yeah, 100%.
By a
that's
lot,
correct.
by like not even close.
And he bet
most
on
hits
his
in
own
MLB
team
history.
and got kicked out.
True. So he had a problem betting, which he shouldn't have done. Bet on other sports, but don't bet on your own sports.
But I disagree. If
No,
LeBron
no, no,
James
no, you
wants to
can't- you
bet on
can't bet-
LeBron James,
No,
bet if they're gonna lose
because
and-
I went
can-
down on this one.
Yeah, you can't. The outcomes, dude. I agree. They should be able to bet on other sports, but you can't be betting on your own games because you could be like,
you
I turned the
influence
ball
them.
over.
no,
And-
that's what I'm saying. You bet as long as you're betting positively for yourself, like
Either
LeBron
way.
James. What are you gonna
Oh,
do?
I'm a ball.
You're
I'm going to
try
take
too
30
hard to
shots.
win?
You're going to be like me the other night, Chance, where I was 2 for 10 and we shot terribly and lost in my first
Yeah,
game back.
bless.
So,
Ask me about that.
anyway, rest in peace to some sports greats. And there were other celebrities who were dying. It's just, yeah, it was just reminding me that I'm getting closer to death too. Great. Jose, let's jump into positive Nerd Chat shout outs now. Shout out to Unique Name. 4 days ago, in response to our short, I didn't even know we put this up to the Kelsey cereal mix. Good God. Oh, we put this up a long time ago.
Yeah.
I genuinely love the Kelsey mix. It's way better than I thought it was going to be. Bubble Boy, quick update right away. What's the review on that?
Because you tasted it, right?
Oh, I'm saving it for the.
Okay, fine. We'll save it.
Yeah.
Sorry, Unique Name. I like your name.
He
But
also liked the waffles, so we got to take what Chance says with a grain of salt.
7 days ago, Scudmaster 11, in response to the short, is the era of consoles over? I went from using console for basically everything to using PC for everything now. If
Smart
I want to
man.
play console, I'll pull out the best of all time, the GameCube.
That's a little bit of a hot take, though, but I'm not gonna lie.
I don't know.
That's
I
a
mean,
little hot.
console wise, that's pretty sweet. And
up
shout out
there.
to Matt Valdez. Matt MV559. I think this might be his name across all social media now. I don't know if Matt, you've converted all of your names, but I appreciate that. 1 day ago, in response to the last episode with Joe and Logan. Stop letting Joe crash the party. Doesn't he have a platinum trophy to chase?
true.
Doesn't he have his own podcast called the Remake Room? Great and fun episode aside from Dan's nip slips. What? Matt, you didn't like that?
Hey, the people have spoken.
Usually have to pay extra for that, Matt.
Dude, Matt, we're going to talk more about that in a second about the whole. Actually, I'm going to address it right now, Matt. I was thinking, guys, we totally skipped this over. Joe was bringing up remasters from the PS3 to the PS4. Remember, he's like, why didn't we, have a problem with it then? And we kind of brushed over it with Logan, but then immediately after the episode, I was like, wait a second. What did the PS4 not have? And was
Cell
the reason
architecture.
why we didn't have PS3 games? Correct. We still don't have PS3 backwards compatibility. Xbox went out of their way and created backwards compatibility in the Xbox One, which continues into the series consoles. So we have had a way to play old games, okay? What does the PS5 have now that the PS4 didn't?
PSVR 2.
Color white.
Backwards compatibility. That is the reason why, Joe, it is so bizarre that we have PS4 remakes coming to PS5. You can play those games with updates right now. With the PS4, we couldn't play PS3 games because it wasn't backwards compatible. And it's still not backwards compatible with PS3. So no, Joe, the remasters suck. It's a bad practice. I'm over it. And shout out to Big Box 1431. Oh no. He's gonna He's gonna suck up
a
to
fan
host.
of Joe. He's a big
I don't. Did he
fan.
mention me in this one?
No, not
Nerd
Let's
chat.
say you know the answer to that.
Joe, in parentheses, Mr. Badbit, killed it on last week's show. I had my palms swaying in the air, eyes clouds shouting, "Preach!" during his diatribe on remasters. However, what was this? Joe, quote, "The thing that's killing creativity is chasing the live service," end quote. Let's unpack this.
Yeah.
Number one, the majority of the last 10 years of live service breakout hits have been from new IP. The same cannot be said of AAA single-player games. Number two, Concord became the biggest flop in history, in large part because it didn't do anything interesting in the 5v5 hero shooter space. This is me. Thank God you admitted to it, Big Box. You're absolutely right. He's absolutely right.
Preach.
Jose.
He's absolutely right.
Facts.
Look at Assassin's Creed. Players only play those games for a month. Ubisoft knows they can shovel out the same slop every 24 months because the public forgets about the formula during the subsequent 23 months. Live service can't operate like that. And three, Helldivers 2, Concord, Marathon, Fair Games, $sign as
dollar
yes.
sign.
He actually wrote Fair Games correctly, are all new IP or unknown IP. God of War, Spider-Man, Wolverine, Horizon, Ghost of Miles, Yote. I get it if life service isn't your thing. But to suggest the space isn't filled with creativity and innovation is not accurate. Please publicly admonish Mr. Badbit on this week's show. Dang. There's a lot to unpack there, boys. Who wants to go first? Point one. Last 10 years of live service games have been from new IP. He's probably right. I'm Bacon. What do you think?
That's fair.
Okay. Anyone else?
My answer is Joe's always correct. I don't ever want to cross Joe ever again because if you say something Joe doesn't like, he'll bring you up on 3 different podcasts in 1 week. So I officially switched over my allegiance, and I'm now a PlayStation fanboy, and I support remasters.
Perfect.
All right.
Next topic.
Clip that one, Jose.
I will. Right at that timestamp. 15 minutes.
Big Box. I don't get you sometimes, man.
He is all over the place, isn't he?
He's like, I love these, live service games. What is Xbox? Why is Phil Spencer announcing all of these single player games that are going to die? Remember at the Xbox showcase. But then last week he's writing PlayStation just released a Game of the Year contender in Astrobot. Big Box, you haven't even played Astrobot. I know you haven't played it. Don't lie to me. Okay? I'm concerned about live service games, but not for the same reasons you are. I'm concerned about first single player games, and we're going to talk about that here in a second. Big Box, I think we're going to answer some more of your questions or ideas in the news. So, guys, let's jump.
Well, can I real quick? 'cause
I have some thoughts
Oh,
too.
you have something to say? All right, okay, hold on. Wait. Okay,
go ahead,
sorry.
Jose.
I mean, mine are relatively short. Here's the truth. I side with Big Box, and in the sense that I agree that it's cool that people, quote unquote, are trying new things in the live service space. The thing that I think all companies, including Xbox, including Sony, including independents, is forgetting is that yes, the most popular games are like of the last 10 years are the live service ones, things like Fortnite, right? But those are 1 in a million shots, dude. Like you have to remember, and I remember this specifically because I was still teaching at the time. I remember when Fortnite came out and was basically kind of against God, I'm blanking right now. Dan, what's your favorite game that's terrible?
PUBG.
Thank you, PUBG.
PUBG is a good game.
No, it's not, Dan.
When those were basically
It
released,
started the Battle Royale evolution. You can't deny that.
But I remember when I was teaching and my students were playing the two games, and I had segments of both that were playing the things, and I remember thinking this is kind of dumb, but I could even in that because I'm an old school gamer, gray beard, right, all that kind of stuff. I remember thinking like this has legs, like there is something financially special about this. But
And then Jose, what did they add to it to make it even have longer legs?
I don't know.
Yes, the metaverse. Yes.
Yeah, I mean they got the IP, they got smart. That's what I'm saying. Like Epic, shout out to Epic, truly. They really learned how to monetize that. But they were progenitors, right? They were the ones who did it first. And it's not that people doing it after are not going to be successful, but you are almost never going to reach that same level. That's just not how innovation works. You have to innovate on top of that. And that's where I don't know if these other things have done. I think that they are trying new things, but I don't know if they're necessarily better than what has been done before. And I'll be honest with you, I don't even play Fortnite. I'm not defending Fortnite. I'm just saying that like, I don't like it. I think it sucks that Concord failed. I didn't play Concord. I have no reason to hate Concord, right? I'm not going to hate it just because it's a PlayStation IP. But from other people, even Ains and Hogue, who they loved Concord. They said just this week they were talking about it again.
They said it was good.
They even said like, it's just a bummer. There's just too much stuff, right, that was going on. So that's all I want to say. I think it's cool that people are trying new things, but again, it's just not enough. And it's high risk to do live service because it takes a lot of money to get it rolling. And if you don't make that right away, just like Concord, they want to shut you down.
And it takes a lot to get somebody to break away from the Call of Duties, the Fortnites, the Grand Theft Autos. Like even us, like we haven't played.
We're all waiting for
finals.
October 26th.
We still haven't
right?
played Fortnite. We still, exactly.
I was talking to a kid today who came in with a PlayStation hoodie and a PlayStation backpack. I know.
Tripped him.
No, I did. Because in my office, Dan's seen it. I have my cool, Sugar Skull Xbox poster behind it. But I was like, what are you playing? And he's like, 100% either Siege or Rainbow Six Siege or Fortnite. And he's like, I will pick up Call of Duty as soon as Call of Duty comes out. And I was like, did you spend any money on Concord and get your money back? He goes, on what?
Concord.
He literally, and this was not like prompted in any way. It was the first minute of our conversation. I was like, Concord. I was like, it's kind of like
the Redfall of PlayStation.
Nobody liked it, and
much worse.
Yeah, no, I know. And literally, kid had no idea. PlayStation fanboy who plays
who's got swag,
Fortnite, Siege, and
zero PlayStation IP. His top games.
And so it taught me though. I was like, maybe if Concord had started free to play, they would have hit a better shot they were looking for. Yeah, because he's like, he's a kid. He's like, I think I can ask my parents for one game a year, and it'll be Call of Duty this year.
Yeah.
And past that though, he's like, yeah, what Concord? I swear he gave me a look like, did this guy just make this up to see if I'm actually a
Are you talking about Concord grape jelly? Yeah. What are you talking about?
Exactly. So then, and my only other point then, and I hate to be nitpicky, Big Box, but until I find out which one of our mothers you actually are, how can Helldivers 2, a sequel because of the number 2 behind it, be a new IP?
Good point. Probably because he's gonna be like it changed genres from a top down kind of to a full
I
third-person shooter.
it is very different than the first, to his credit.
No, people say it's
Not a
Helldivers,
new
it's
IP.
just a different perspective. He got you there, Big Box. Jose, let's jump into Xbox news for the week.
News team, assemble!
News story number 1. Speaking of Big Box, was Big Box right? Was he right all along, Jose? The games industry is undergoing a generational change, says Epic's, speaking of Fortnite, CEO Tim Sweeney. A lot of games are released with high budgets and they're not selling. This is coming from PC Gamer and Andy Chalk during Unreal Fest, and Epic Games CEO Tim Sweeney had the following quote that I found was interesting about gaming in its current state. We were literally just talking about, even though Fortnite has hit new records in concurrency, reaching an all-time peak of 110 million active users. And surprisingly, we're not a part of that. I don't think any of us.
I mean, I have played Fortnite. I don't currently play Fortnite.
Good for you. He said, one of the manifestations of change that we're seeing right now in the gaming industry is that a lot of games are released with high budgets and they're not selling nearly as well as expected. Whereas other games are going incredibly strong, what we're seeing is a real trend where players are gravitating toward the really big games where they can play with more of their friends. The perceived value of a game, he continued, grows in proportion to the number of your friends that you can connect to. For everything from playing games together to chatting by voice, watching virtual concerts, or doing other kinds of cool virtual things online. Some people will call it the metaverse, Sweeney said, and we're not all in on the agreement on what that means. But for some people, when they hear a word metaverse, they think of what Facebook is doing with VR and now AR. Some people use the metaverse to describe everything they don't like about the current Fortnite season. So guys, we are the olds now. Our old SNES days. I mean, Bacon was back on like Atari or something. I don't even know what he was on.
I'm really old.
I remember when we used to be excited to play video games, single player games, by ourselves with a friend sitting there watching us play. But now, all these kids care about are these, number 1, these cell phones, number 1. And if they're going to play video games, like Chance just said, PS fanboy number 1 with his hoodie, t-shirt, jacket. Hey, what next big PlayStation hit have you been playing? Oh, I've been playing Siege,
8-year-old game.
I was
Fortnite,
like, when did Siege come out? It's
2015.
It's a minute ago.
2015, Call of Duty, and I play some Madden. Guys, Big Box.
Don't do it, Dan.
What's going on, man? I'm getting a little afraid.
It,
I'm games need to change. Single player games need to be short and sweet. They need to cost less, or nothing at all, and they need to be accessible. Or no, I'm getting scared, guys. Bubble Boy, you want to say something? Go ahead.
Yeah, so, and I don't want to get too preachy or like, actually, Nissa might really like this because I don't know, Nissa, if you knew, I'm a school counselor, so very, very into psychology like yourself. And we are currently reading The Anxious Generation, which I know Jose's wife read, and maybe Bacon's did, maybe.
She reads a lot.
Yeah, this is a book. It's all about how awful social media is for kids and how it's literally the opening. Jose, have you read it at all?
I've read pieces of it and heard
Okay,
pieces of it because Victoria's listening. I
Did
know
you
the
read
premise.
like
I know
the very
arguments.
beginning of it? He has this. He talks about this like experiment on Mars, and would you send your kids to this experiment on Mars? And it is absolutely incredible. And long story short, a lot of times kids see their phone as oxygen, literally. Like the way we can't live without oxygen, there are kids whose brains have been rewired to the point where without social media,
Not just
without
kids.
Oh, I know.
Look
I
at
know.
Bacon.
No,
Look
but
at
the
myself.
difference,
Why do
Daniel,
I
the
always do
difference
that?
is
Why
our
do Bacon
brains,
ask me?
Jeez.
our brains are fully developed and probably deteriorating,
And
already
we-
on the decline.
Correct. And we grew up
And we grew
without
up-
these to a certain,
exactly.
to probably through the most important years up until I didn't get a cell phone on my own until college.
So I mean,
point.
there is some really, what I will argue, impossible to deny science behind what this book is written about. Again, long story short, without getting too much into it, that's what the kids want. Trust me. This is what they want out of gaming. It makes me think of Ready Player One, and not that it's going to be this entire new metaverse where like gaming isn't even gaming anymore. It's just another piece of social media. So it's not even about,
Like in
we don't
life.
play to win the game. We
What
play
a
to
good
get
point
likes.
there, Bacon. Somebody clip that.
What did he say?
I didn't say
You,
anything,
what
but he
you
always
Oh,
said.
you
says-
said bacon,
He
and I
always
was
says
like,
bacon.
Oh, sorry,
like-
Bubble Boy.
just
Sorry,
trying to drag
Bubble Boy.
Bacon in the fight
Bubble
again.
Boy,
I'm
give
just being
credit. Sorry,
quiet.
not Bacon. Bacon didn't say anything. Bubble
Yes.
Boy said the insightful comment.
I was like,
Just
I
for
was
the
looking over at Jose, and I was like, oh shit, is my headphones down? No, so right, and this
An extension of social media.
Scares the hell out of me.
Jose.
I mean, here's what I'd say. Not just
Generational change.
It is a generational change, and the reality is, it is what companies are still trying to hit it. Like, don't kid yourself. Sony and Microsoft, I'm not saying just Sony, are trying to capitalize in the same way that Fortnite did because of the mobile space. Literally years now, we've been doing the show for years. Literally years ago, Xbox talked about how they wanted to expand into mobile because even years ago, the amount of money that was being spent on mobile is insane. It still is today. What's frightening for us is that it's being spent not on what we would call great games, right? It's not being spent on AAA experiences or even arguably AA experiences, right? It's being paid for games that are really short satisfaction, very short rounds, things even like the Fortnite Battle Royale, formula is intended to be like 10, 15 minutes max. It's not meant to be these hour-long or multi-hour long or 50-hour-long games, which again is what we grew up with. And that's very scary for people. Now, that doesn't, I'm going to be very clear. I don't think that means the era of gaming is over, but it is going to change the equation in terms of what companies are willing to put into development. And there's just not an easy way to do that. Even people who might see this and say, like, well, what about AI? AI is going to change that. And yeah, it might to some degree with things like rendering and stuff like that. But that doesn't change innovation, right? You can't go to AI and be like, what's a good idea for a game and expect to make millions of dollars. Like, there's still a human element that comes from that. But it's fascinating. Like it is truly something to study. And Chance is absolutely right. And I will tell you just one quick thing, and I'll be done. This year in our school, I have seen more teachers than ever totally change their cell phone policy. So for the record, at my school, we don't have a school-wide policy. There are schools around us that have tried. It's not gone very well for lots of reasons, right? But this year, I have had enough teachers that kind of just got fed up with it. And they literally were like, I'm going old school. And they got a freaking box. And they wait at the door. And they greet the kids by name. Good morning, Bacon. Good morning, Chance. Good morning, Dan. Cell phone. And they just literally, in that moment, put it in the box. And you know what the craziest thing is? All the kids do it. They don't argue. They don't push back. They don't whine about it. They just put their phone in the box. And then the bell rings. The teacher closes the lid. They put it in the corner of the room. And we have class. And that's not to say that kids aren't still communicating. They still have Chromebooks. Like they could still theoretically instant message. They know that. They know they can email. But it has totally removed, in the people that have done it, I mean, it is totally removed this, like, I have to check my phone. I hear the ding, that all that anxiety truly is what it is. It disappears at least short term. You see what I'm saying? So fascinating, man. I'm curious to see where this will go. Obviously, we're going to continue talking about it. Big Box, shout out to pointing it out earlier. And, if you didn't watch any of the Unreal stuff from Fortnite, it's on YouTube. Some of it is pretty fascinating. They released a whole city for Ninja Turtles so people can build their own Ninja Turtle world. It's cool stuff, man. They know what they're doing over there with
Are we
Epic
going
and
to get
Unreal.
into Fortnite?
No.
I'm not going to get
I
into
don't think
Fortnite. No. I'm just saying.
But
Bacon.
can I say one
go
last
ahead.
tiny little thing? Because I think this was one of the other points that really stuck out to me, that he went through and he showed all these different technologies that have been invented over the years, and started with like the seatbelt. So the seatbelt ended up killing a lot of humans when it first came out, and a lot more proportionally were kids, because it was just a lot more dangerous to be a 30-pound, 40-pound kid in a car accident than a 150, 200-pound adult. And so what did we do as a society? We created seatbelts. And now you would be out of your mind to get in a car with a kid without the right kind of seatbelt, without the right kind of car seat. And so he was imploring the educational, scientific, whatever community we need to come up with the seatbelt for social media. And I think teachers, like what Jose is talking about, that's the closest thing right now. That's not a long-term solution, but it's a step in the right direction.
Bacon, your thoughts on?
Well, first,
Where
I
the
find
video
it,
games are
find it
going.
funny the guy in charge of the company that has
Yes.
single-handedly destroyed
Yes.
gaming has something to say
Destroyed
about
or
it.
appealed to a generation?
So every time I think about this whole situation about single-player games and the games we love dying, I think about a game like Elden Ring. If you make a great freaking game, people are going to play it. There are enough olds out there like us and PlayStation fanboys that will support a video game if it's great, generational, fantastic.
Yes.
Another game's coming out, Grand Theft Auto, is, yes, the online's a big part of that game. I get it.
They're not going to
But
play the campaign, Bacon.
there's
They're going to be playing online.
also a campaign there. So that's truly the answer here, is like Call of Duty adding a campaign, also with a multiplayer you're going to play for an entire year, with Warzone, with all that stuff. When you put out a perfect full package, the game's going to sell. Call of Duty's going to sell. It's going to sell 40 million copies easily. So I struggle with this a lot, and I know Big Box is a big advocate of the live service and new IPs and all that, but I am truly concerned about where gaming's heading at this point. And I did like Fortnite for a while, and I bought a lot of skins. I'm not Joe over here. I don't have $2,000 in skins, but can't buy a PC because you got $2,000 in Fortnite skins. I get it. But again, just a little weird that Sweeney had to say, yeah, by the way, we have completely changed the face of gaming. You're welcome. Like, cool. Thanks, Sweeney. Thumbs up, guy.
I don't know.
Am I wrong?
I mean, he has, but like I would argue, he's had the most success appealing
Yes.
to the future generation of gaming.
And then again, that's why Microsoft's doing what they're doing, putting
I
their
agree.
games everywhere. That's why Sony's completely lost the plot, and they're keeping them games. Like you said, people want to play with their friends, and they want to play their games with their friends. If their parents bought them an Xbox and all their friends are playing on PlayStation, nobody's going to buy that game. Why don't you just put your games everywhere and you just live with the UI you love? Like Nintendo, they're a completely different use case, but the fact that people continue to wall off users of their content is still just a win a console war that Microsoft has clearly given up on. So why is Sony still fighting? I don't know.
Any
Damn it,
closing
that's going to
thoughts?
get clipped.
Let's jump into the chat. Chat's been popping off, and
It
I
has
want to get
been.
them included. Gennaro Primero said a while back ago, and this is not related at all, but he said the Broncos are 2-2, and so are my Raiders.
Devontae Adams.
And they meet up, and Devontae is quitting on you, Gennaro. So yes, I am gonna rub it in when we beat the Raiders. I mean, we're 2-2, baby.
Yeah.
Nobody would have thought that. The teams we
Especially
beat.
That's fair.
Downer Dan like 3 weeks ago.
Oh, they were
Broncos are
terrible. They were terrible. They still are. What are you talking about? They barely won. They're still bad. But
They went on the road with the rookie quarterback and beat one of the greatest quarterbacks
Tampa
in the
Bay
game.
was a
Their
convincing
quarterback
win.
had nothing to do with that win. By
He
the
had
way. It
60
was
yards and a
100%
touchdown,
retained.
sir.
Moving on, Todd said concerning PC startup animations, the Steam Deck is one. And I was thinking that'd be kind of cool. Yeah, some motherboards have like my Silken had asked earlier about if Jampack Sam, and I have a G14 as well. It has the Republic of Gamers thing. I don't know. I think can you mod that stuff into your? I'm sure you can, right?
That's
Make your
built into the
motherboard?
BIOS. I mean, it's theoretically possible,
Yeah.
but it's not like it's not easy.
I here's what I like, Todd. This PC, you see me kissing it.
Loves that thing, guys. Audio listeners, he's making out with his
Dude,
PC
when
again.
I just love, Todd, that I boot this up and it goes straight to the Windows Start and I just start it. Like it's super fast. My G14 takes a while, and I don't like staring at the Republic of Gamers. And I actually had to turn the noise off because it would do this like there's some stupid gamer noise when you start it. So I had to turn that off. But cool idea. But to me, Todd, I just want my PC to start right away. Shout out to Deja Vu, rip to Matumbo, rip to our game last night, Deja. What was I gonna say? It's crazy that Helldivers 2 isn't on the PlayStation Most Played because so many people play that. That is absolutely crazy. What else do we have here? How many kids have upgraded to PS5 and Series X? How many? What
They don't have
percentage
to.
do you?
Fortnite's still on PS4.
Go ahead, Chance.
A lot of my kids don't.
Okay. But yeah,
and
we live in
it's an affordability thing,
yeah,
really.
Yeah.
If
Did
they
you
want
ask him?
to, if they want to
Actually-
upgrade to the PS5 Pro, it's still available for pre-orders. I'm just giving the fans the facts.
Bubble Boy,
the
did you ask him?
PS5 Pro is available
I just
for
know-
pre-order.
I just know from asking other kids. I would say on average they're still PS4.
Todd also said kids only. I remember Todd saying this before. Play on consoles because their parents buy them one. I'm guessing they wouldn't buy a box with their own cash. Chance, what do you think about that? Do you think kids would buy that on their own unless their parents help them out?
Are you asking if their parents helped them, would they then consider switching to an Xbox?
No, I'm saying, do you think kids are going out and buying consoles on their own, or are they only playing because a parent has one already, or the parent buys them one?
The latter two, because a lot of them too, and their parents are now our age, are like, well, I have to fight with my dad to get time to play.
Okay.
He's bigger than me.
Yeah.
Shout out to Todd. Also says I use 3 screens during the workday. How bad is that for my concentration ADD? Yeah, I'm not saying I know I'm giving bacon crap. No, I fully admit I'm addicted to this stupid thing as well, and I hate it. We all
He
are.
absolutely hates it.
We
Like it's crazy.
we all are. All of us. Chance probably no. Chance is he's addicted to. He's
Oh, sure,
not on
just in
social
different
media.
ways.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly,
like,
exactly.
I'm-
These things are just it's crazy. Any other?
You forgot this one. There's a clutch one.
Dan is going Diddy with I don't know what's going on with P Diddy. I've been reading a
Really?
lot. What's going? Has he been having? I heard
Come
he's been
on,
having
bro.
huge
Not having a
parties.
great day. Be honest with you.
Okay. Todd also said that Halo Infinite multiplayer was the last big online experiment
Sea of
Microsoft
Thieves.
made. Do you think they're going to try again, or is ABK that for them? I think you're right, Todd. Halo Infinite going free to play was a big deal, and that was an experiment for them. But I think the next Halo multiplayer, if there is one, what do you think? Big Bacon should be on all
I'm just
systems?
saying, he's asking, does 343 just not make Halo anymore and they do something else? Because Call of Duty's got the online multiplayer space. What do you do with 343 at that situation? You know,
I think
No,
Halo,
don't make a Halo.
I know. I'm
I
just.
think-
that's what Todd's question was.
I'm concerned about Halo. I think it's a boomer game. I think there's a lot of people who want it to succeed and think that it should more than it realistically has appeal to young kids. Again, and Jose, Chance, have you ever heard any kid talking about Halo at your schools?
Nope. That's a good point. I have not.
Can't. No.
And Askin's kid Zach, what is he playing right now? Siege, Fortnite, Roblox. I tried to get him on
Free.
Halo. He played maybe like 2 nights, noped out of that. So Halo is for olds, and I don't know. Any other? Don't give Dan any baby oil. I used baby
He doesn't
oil
know
the whole
about-
time.
he doesn't know
Todd,
about
I don't
Diddy.
know if you knew this, but I was just in Hawaii, out in beautiful Honolulu, and I was rubbing.
Were you really?
baby oil all over my?
oh, what's
I
that
got
movie?
so tan.
when,
telling us.
Ben Stiller movie when his wife puts baby oil and goes and gets sunburned.
Along came Polly.
No.
All right, let's move on to news story number 2. Let's jump into some PC nerd stats. Gotta love this one, boys. We're talking about the Steam hardware and software survey for 2024. Bacon, I'm going to read off some stats that I find very interesting. This is people who have opted in. I don't know why you wouldn't. It just kind of copies what's going on with your system. But 77% of PC gamers on Steam are NVIDIA GPUs, 14% on AMD, 7% on Intel. It's kind of impressive. This is shocking to me, Bacon. 66% of gamers are still on Intel CPUs, while 33% are at AMD. I thought that was going to be higher for AMD, but apparently people are still.
Well, you still look at the most CPUs are only 6-core CPUs, and that's back when
they're
Intel was
old,
dominant, right?
Yeah,
Intel
exactly.
was dominant back then.
And the name was the big one back then. But system RAM, most people have only 16 gigs of RAM. Bacon has like 100.
I have 64.
Bubble Boy, what do you have?
Yes, I sure
Say,
do.
we have 32. I think he has
Yeah,
32.
he's got 32.
And
Jose's
then,
got 64.
I got 64. too.
what?
Yeah.
Holy
he pulled an upgrade when I wasn't
My
looking.
God.
Oh, okay.
What the video
Whoa.
card? Here's an interesting one. The most common GPU on Steam is an RTX 3060. Again,
Really?
the
Yeah.
most common
Yeah,
GPU
It was the 1060 for the longest time.
at 5.7% of all gamers on Steam. Up, by the way, is 3060. VRAM is only 8 gigs. That's 37% of people only have 8 gigs of VRAM. Not surprising there. And the highest, 56% of all PC gamers on Steam are playing at 1920.
Yeah, that's the
by
one that blew my mind.
1080. And if they have multi-monitors, they're just doing two 1080p screens. And yeah.
But it's got to be a cost thing, right? Because
Yeah.
then I go back to like,
Oh, okay.
it's
So,
not that. Oh, go ahead.
go ahead. Finish your thought.
They're
and then I'm
not
gonna throw it up in the
choosing
debate.
that, right? No one's like, I prefer this.
The
Well, the
hardcore
reason why the-
esports gamers.
Yes, because they want the
pick
high refresh
1080p,
rates.
super high refresh
They
rates.
want
Bacon,
less lag, less all that jazz.
what stands out to you here about these Steam stats? Because we all are killing it. I don't know if you guys know. I have a 4080.
We were like in the 90th percentile.
Like humble humility. I think.
90, like 8th
right.
percentile.
I mean, I'm 99 probably, 99.9% percentile. The big one here, of course, is the CPUs, and that tells me people are on older generations. Now, yes, there are still some low-end 6-core processors, but these speeds at 2.3 gigahertz, those are not fast. Mine is constantly like 3.9, and it's not even
Show off his
overclocked on my
numbers.
CPU. And then another one is still seeing 50% of people are still on Windows 10.
That was
Yeah.
Now, either that's they don't have the TPM thing to upgrade to Windows 11 because it requires security stuff with your motherboard. That could be in reference to all these old platforms. But, that's the thing that a lot of people buy stuff to stay on it for a long time. They're not like me that, builds a new PC every year and a half to 2 years because I have FOMO and I don't make good decisions financially. It is what it is. But, it just shows that most people are for performance of a game instead of visuals, the eye bleeding 4K and all those rays I love traced.
affordability. Like Todd says, the 3060 came out in 2021, was $329. Not everyone is spending a ton on PCs. And if
This
they do-
average build right here with everything is probably a $500-$600 build.
Yeah, wow.
Right now, you could go buy all these parts and build this PC for less
And
than
that's
that.
what I wish people understood, Bacon, is PC gaming can be relatively inexpensive and
can.
accessible if you're willing to make some sacrifices, or not even. And it
Right.
might not even
And-
be a
and
sacrifice.
they might
I
not-
see a lot of
yeah.
people in colleges or out and about, or just gaming on their little 1080p monitors, even with like a Series X or
Mm-hmm.
a PS5 or whatever console they have. So yeah, sorry.
Like, there's no reason to spend the kind of money we did. I tried to talk you guys into building something you'd be happy with, and for the longest time, the number one card for years was the 1060, and it makes sense that the 3060 would now be the most popular one, and here in 2 years, the 4060 will be the most popular one.
Well, and Todd kind of nailed it, right? He's saying internationally PCs aren't what we are looking for, and it says it right there. 36.57% of the
That was
people
crazy.
on this were speaking simplified Chinese.
Oh,
Yep.
So that's, I mean,
Most popular language on Steam.
yeah. What I did have a question though. What's this? So at the very bottom, other settings, LAHF/SAHF. Do you know what that is, Bacon?
I do not.
Or you can click it.
And it's weird. I'm like, the reason that
AVX, those are encoding sets. The AVX is
why do they even list it when it's 100%,
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
and then
NTFS.
0? Like,
It's a 0% change.
Well, why
What
don't Bacon? Why don't you look
Oh.
at that?
Oh,
Chipotle Bear,
okay.
any
But
reaction?
still.
Or I mean, not Bacon.
So
Chipotle
yeah,
Bear,
the
any reaction?
AVX code is stuff that's done in like Handbrake and
Yeah.
in the like the benchmark software when you're like rendering a scene. A lot of these, when I used to run stress tests on an overclock, you know, running big packages and stuff like that when you're doing those benchmarks.
Yeah. The only thing I have to say about this that's interesting, and I thought about a lot more, is I do think that the number, part of what we're seeing also, this is numbers going up. Like that's, I think, part of what's interesting about this data is that, yes, I agree that like people, and I hear Luke talk about it all the time, shout out to XCP, people want ease. They want to just plug something in, turn it on the TV, and it works. And I think more and more PCs are being built to do that. But 2 points that I think are important to focus on. One is, I do think, and this is a little bit of a hot take, I'm not trying to be like a downer, but people are not very willing to work hard at a hobby like this. Sorry, I should clarify. At a hobby like this, in the sense that they don't want to learn how to plug stuff into a motherboard. They don't want to learn like, oh, don't do this because you could fry your CPU. They just were like, here's my money, just give me something that works. That does affect the PC market. Now, granted, you can still find really great deals, but I would be willing to bet that most of our students, like Chances and I's, that game, even if it's on mobile, if they're looking into PCs, they don't want to build it. They just want to buy it. Right. And the reality is, while many people game on these systems and are perfectly happy, I do think there will come a point someday where we're going to see a significant shift because, again, the kids, like, I cannot emphasize enough how like little kids don't even think about consoles. Like they think about purely what they see on YouTube, which is all computer based, right? Or what's on mobile. Like that is unfortunately, I think, where things are going. I don't think, again, that it's going to ever fully go away. It's really going to be, but I would be willing to bet that in 10 years, the dominant thing that we're seeing is people like would want to buy PCs to game on, because that's what we're seeing. That's where the money is. Like that's where YouTube is making billions of dollars, trillions, arguably. I think that's a piece of it. And Todd or Nissa said I play a lot on Switch. I'm not saying Nintendo's out of the count. That's still that they have something very special on the Nintendo side, but I do think we will see a growth in this over time. So I think I'd love to keep monitoring these stats maybe every like 6 months. I'd just be curious to see how they go. So
every year
I will point out that my GPU is 0.91% of people, the 4090. And your 4080 Super is only 0.55. So my GPU is more popular.
So I'm more unique and rare, though.
That's fair.
Nessa said kids mostly play on Switch. Here's the funny thing about the Switch. Again, anecdotal evidence with my son. I don't see him playing his Switch very much. I don't know if it's because he feels incredibly guilty that he lost Donkey Kong Country or
who made him feel guilty, Dan?
Yoshi's Crafted World. He just goes to his tablet, you guys.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They're just
my daughters too.
And it's man. Anyway, hopefully, I want to get to the point, you guys, where I can. Do you think I can introduce Halo 1 to him? Do you think he could try to play that, or like?
You don't want to ask me because I make
You
bad
would say
decisions
yes.
all the time.
Yeah, you would say yes. But boy, what's wrong with Halo? The shooting? You don't think that's a good idea?
No, I think if
He's shooting aliens.
No, I know.
lasers.
I'm struggling because I was trying to think. Something like maybe GoldenEye that isn't nearly. Listen, hear me out. That isn't nearly as complex, or even Doom, that isn't nearly as complex in terms of controls. Not Doom 2016.
Even the old ones, man.
They're very violent. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, but so what I was gonna say was like, I think you're a good parent that can help him understand. Like,
I mean, my kids haven't even seen like any of the Marvel movies. Like the most violent thing they've seen is Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, and they were like, "Oh!" when they saw Kingpin.
He's in second grade now.
First.
Okay, yeah.
I don't know. We'll see, guys.
probably play
Shout out to
Halo.
Game Positive. Never too early to play Halo. I agree. I think I think I want to get him into that. And yeah, I know it's going to be a struggle for him to do the 2 thumbsticks, but he's kind of mastered playing Forza. And I mean, you're not really using 2, but just to try to get him into something again with video game. I don't know. Or I could go outside and play with him on the yard. Or something. Who wants
Stay
to do
inside,
that?
stay alive.
Nissa also said, my 7-year-old nephew Cooper was playing it on Wednesday, mostly Minecraft. 7-year-old playing Minecraft. See, Grayson has never seen Minecraft. Maybe I need to get. I thought
My
about that.
7-year-old loves Minecraft.
He has a tablet, but my brother and someone
Sister controlled that.
Sister control that. Yeah, I have it on. It's just they literally just watch Disney. Like I don't even see them playing games on that. They're just watching
Dude.
Disney Plus.
People playing in 4K is only 3% of the Steam. And in my not even my resolution, the super ultra wide, not even the super ultra wide is only 0.38%.
What is second place to 1080?
1280 by 800.
What an odd resolution.
Maybe that's a handheld, maybe.
Or is it the Steam Deck? That might be.
Yeah.
Or maybe they're like, I can't quite get the performance at 1440, so or no, that's a little bit higher. I don't know. What does your son love, Todd? He said,
Platoon.
Plants vs. Zombies, Modern Warfare is a good shooter. He loved those. What about Platoon? Yeah. Smash Brothers. Yeah, we'll see. Guys, let's move into news story number 3. Bubble Boy, take it away on this one.
Yes, very, very, very exciting stuff that I think Dan thinks is not exciting at all.
I love Hans Zimmer. I'm shocked he's doing this.
Okay,
Hans
you
Zimmer's
gave
one
a
of the
look.
best ever.
You were all like ugh, earlier. So Hans Zimmer is doing some of the music for Dragon Age Veilguard, which I was probably going to play. I wasn't super excited about, but now this will be a must play for me simply because of that. And the article, why is that funny?
That's the one reason you're going to play it is because of Hans?
Dude, it is a really, really big deal to me. And if you don't know who Hans Zimmer is, he did the soundtracks for some of the greatest movies of all time. Gladiator, The Last Samurai, Inception, all the Dark Knight trilogy.
So good.
The Lion King.
He's done some Mission Impossible work as well.
Yes, yep, he sure has. Just literally goes on and on.
Incredible.
Batman Begins, Pirates of the Caribbean. Like,
Yep,
yeah,
it's
the whole
unbelievable, right?
Batman
And so he also is. Where did I just lost it here? His co-composer Lorne Balfe,
who is also great. Lorne Balfe just did a live play of the Top Gun Maverick, and Tom Cruise was also there to introduce it.
I didn't know that,
dude. It was incredible. So they showed the movie, and the symphony was playing the score live while showing the music. It was incredible. And they had like an organist for those parts instead of a guitar. It was incredible. By the way,
send that to us.
Lorne Balfe. Yeah, I'll send it to you. Yeah, sorry. Tom Cruise, by the way, he was looking old. He was looking a little old. Finally, I was like, ooh, he's looking old.
Video game wise, Lorne Balfe has worked on Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, Assassin's Creed 3, Revelations, Beyond Two Souls, and just like they could not have gotten.
Oh yeah,
they got the Patrick Mahomes of music.
Speaking of, Todd Aksha says, "Bubble Boy, how did Dragon Age cost? How much did it cost to develop? It's been 8 years, and now they're paying Hans Zimmer and Lorne Balfe."
Yeah, I don't. How about this answer, Todd? I don't give a shit.
That's right. It better be good. So go to your question. I have an answer, by the way.
Yeah. So, what is everyone's favorite Hans Zimmer soundtrack?
I mean, Bubble, I'll start off because I know it right away. Yeah. You brought up so many.
Yeah.
Right? And I've loved all of them. And I really like some of his work, specifically in Mission Impossible, Fallout. The whole sequence where they divert the convoy and he crashes into that whole sequence leading up to it. That's all Hans. You can hear it, and there's a little bit of Dark Knight in there too. Anyway, but I love Inception. That's always one of my favorites.
It's a great movie.
But my number one score that he's done, and my favorite Christopher Nolan film, Interstellar. That is my favorite.
Okay.
production.
Not a bad answer at all. I mean, there is no bad answers. I'm
Yeah.
surprised for you. Okay.
Yep, that's Inception used to be my favorite. I've always loved the Dark Knight trilogy, specifically Batman Begins, and
Oh, yeah.
I think the music. I know people hate Dark Knight Rises, but it I think probably has the best music actually out of all of them. I bought that soundtrack, but to me, Interstellar just hits me in the feels.
Awesome. Bacon, Jose?
My answer is anything Last Samurai.
I knew
because
it. I knew it.
any movie that has samurai
And Tom
fighting
Cruise.
ninjas in one scene, samurai v ninjas, is peak movie all-timedness. So that's a great movie.
Jose,
I didn't even
mean-
know he did the music for it. That's how much I
didn't know
don't
that
care
either.
about
There
the
you go.
music.
he's done
What?
some music.
I mean, I wasn't joking when I said Cool Runnings. That's not my favorite, but I think like that. I watched it the other time. It's a very inspiring movie. Shout out to Jamaican.
Bob Staples.
Well, it's not what was the best
Yeah,
movie.
that's
No, but I'm saying, but the music was a huge part of that, right? Like when they're crashing. Anyway, my favorite on here, easy, is
Was it?
Gladiator. Gladiator is such a good soundtrack. Like
Yep.
truly, like just, it's so good. Like I don't want to gush over it, but that's not
no
number one.
Atomic Blonde.
Yeah, and mine's the exact same as you,
guys-
Jose. It's Gladiator.
Guys,
for
hot
me.
take. I don't think I've seen all of Gladiator still to this.
What?
You go to hell and you die.
What is wrong with you? But you watch Vanilla Sky.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna
multiple
watch it
times?
later. It's right down.
You're going to hell, Dan.
Like Vanilla
And
Sky.
Deja Vu, never seen Interstellar? What are
Oh.
we doing here, people?
I mean,
What are we doing here?
Deja Vu. Go.
How
At this
can
point,
you be mad at him when you haven't seen all of Gladiator?
Bring those
You don't-
tissues, Deja.
Right,
That's what
no,
I'm saying,
you're
but-
right.
I remember it was like everyone's like, "Oh, Gladiator's so good, it's so good, so good." It's like,
was.
dude, shut
shall
the
not
I
throw
don't want
stones
to talk about it.
in a glass house. Dan.
I don't. I'm not a big into Rome history. I'm not big into gladiators, and I'm not.
Dude, are
You go
kidding me?
watch Vanilla Sky. We'll be over here watching.
I plan
Gladiator.
on watching it someday, maybe before the sequel comes out.
What the hell?
Deja Vu. Before you watch Interstellar, don't do it now. At this point, wait till you have kids, because then when you have kids, it's gonna hit even harder.
He's about to have kids.
Well, there you go. So wait until it happens, and then you're gonna fucking bawl. Jose, you're gonna. Sorry, you're gonna.
Oh, we're swearing on this
Ball.
podcast. Now. Well, shit.
hot today.
Shit.
Feel the rhythm. Feel the rhyme.
I noted Chance swore first. So
Are you not entertained? Yeah, Todd. Whatever. It's
how have you
overrated.
not seen Gladiator all the way, bro?
So good, dude.
That is weird to
movie.
me.
I
I'll try to
believe
watch it with-
I
I'll
saw
try to
it in
watch
the
it with
theaters.
Allie.
It was me, Jose, his mom, and my mom, right? Over at the gosh,
How old were we when it
Man
came out?
Theaters, was it Man Theaters or
the one behind
Union Square.
Union.
no? I think it was Man. I think it was Man Theaters was the one behind by
It
Wendy's,
wasn't
right?
the Green Mountain one that David Gully's dad like owned or worked at or whatever.
Moving on to news. What's your story about Gladiator? You just remembered seeing
No,
it?
it was great.
Still is great. I mean, it's not
About
Atomic
what?
Blonde, but
Last news story of the night coming soon to Game Pass. Sorry, I moved this chance. That's why I always
everybody plays
I don't
Sifu,
care.
please.
Yeah.
coming to Game Pass for October 2024. It's already out now. October. These are out. These are all out. MLB The Show 2024 now with Game Pass Standard. So it's not only on Ultimate now. These are on Standard. Open Roads Standard on console. This is a nice one to add to Cloud Console PC. Oh no, this is standard as well in other Game Pass. If I say standard, standard and above, that's just the rule. Sifu. And we'll talk about Sifu in a second because I know
So good.
Chance.
Well, I have the platinum, so I feel like
you
I
got the. I can't even beat
yeah.
the game. I've never
I
finished a
can't
run, bro.
not get it for.
Oh, are
a
you gonna go
1,000
for it?
out of 1,000.
Okay, all
Dude,
right.
it's so good.
I think I have to. I mean, I did it once. I'm like afraid of trying it again because I'm like I know how hard that was, but I'm like
I can't believe you did that either.
if I did it once, I can do it again, right?
You can.
Mad Streets, Cloud Console PC, October 7th. Inscription. I saw somebody tweeting about this on October 10th. Oh, I think it was Zenkai. And in case you missed it from the Tokyo Game Show, All You Need Is Help is on Game Pass. Legend of Mana, Trials of Mana, We Love Katamari Reroll, and some Game Pass Ultimate perks, Multiverses MVP pack. You get EA Sports or Football Club 25, you get a welcome pack. X Defiant Combat Pack is available to you. But leaving Game Pass October 15th. Dyson Sphere program PC, Everspace 2 PC, From Space on Cloud Console PC, F1 Manager 2023, and Scorn will all be leaving. One that they're not mentioning, I'm sure they're going to mention at the halfway point, of course, Call of Duty will also be entering Game Pass. Black Ops 6 at the end of the month. Besides Sifu Bacon, are you going to play? Where did you play Sifu, actually?
I bought it on Xbox, but it's also
when it came
Anywhere
out, that's
title,
right.
so I actually have access to
Nice.
it. I
On
purchased
PC.
one, and now I have access to the Game Pass one.
That's one thing I will say about Bacon, and I hope Xbox does consider this in the future. Make any game you buy play anywhere. I think that would be
There's so many games I have.
they should do that.
But no, seriously, if you guys have not played Sifu, you need to play Sifu. It is stylistically incredible. The premise is incredible. It is freaking bonkers hard. I've made it very close to the end, and I had to stop playing the game because my fingers were so raw from that game.
Jesus.
Dude, I tell you,
This is how he breaks controllers, you guys.
guys, I'm telling you, the art style of Sifu is
Oh,
something
it's
else.
unbelievable.
It is. This was the one game I was jealous of on the PS5 thing that no one plays. That game made me jealous, and I still didn't buy it there because I don't buy games on Sony. So I waited for it to come to Xbox, and it's worth all your time and energy to play that game.
Shout out to Game Positive on. Todd said play Sifu on easy mode, but Game Positive said Inscription is incredible. It was the closest I ever got to giving it a 10 over at Seasoned Gaming. Yeah, I've heard, like I said, Zenkai also had great things to say about that, so that might be one we need to check
Zenkai
out.
plays games.
Shots fired.
Well, I'm
You
glad-
started that argument.
Hot
I'm
take.
glad Todd said what he did because you need to play Sifu, and it's not like the Souls whole
I'll play
I
it on
gotta beat
easy.
it because it's hard. Like put it on
Don't
easy.
play
mode,
it on
and
easy.
Okay.
not?
Please don't.
I'm sorry.
Don't
I don't
play
have
it on
time for
easy.
this. So
No.
I was
Dan,
just
you're
gonna
a
say,
good gamer. Play it on standard, bro.
No, I want to play. I'm close to
The
finishing
story is
Shattered
not that
Space.
intriguing. The whole point of Sifu
It-
is to beat the
it's-
game on standard difficulty.
let me-
It's like a Souls
No,
game.
all right, hold on. Let me finish. I still want to finish Tales of Kenzera. I did buy that. Actually, not
did you?
finish. I want to start that after I listened. Shout out to Last Stand and Colin's interview with. Oh, what's his name? The guy. He's the voice of Bayek, and he's part of that studio. He liked my response when I said that I was going to buy the game immediately after that interview. By the way, shout out to the interview. I recommend everyone go listen to. Okay, here it is. Where is he? Jose, what is there anything that interests you while I look this up?
I mean, honestly, I wasn't really looking to add a lot of games right now for a reason, which we'll talk about here in a little bit. But and also because like spooky season, I like to play spooky games. I'm looking forward to the Retro Realms like Halloween thing that comes out later this month. It's like the 2D side scroller with Michael Myers and Evil Dead, obviously Black Ops. I think I want to try to play Until Dawn too because I really enjoyed the Quarry and I never played Until Dawn when it came out. So I wasn't really looking to add. However, shout out to, of course, Eric and Todd. I feel like I got to try Inscription now. Like I feel like that fits my mood and I kind of need something that's going to work on my ally for a little bit. Again, we'll talk about why, but that's probably the biggest one. When I saw the trailers, I did want to jump into Legend in Mana, but because I've not really ever gotten to them, but it looked cool. It's another huge game. I just don't think I can bite that off right now. Other than that, just a note: if you didn't play Scorn, don't worry about it. I wouldn't even add that to your list. And I'll be honest with you, I was really looking forward to it. Like I love the H.R. Geiger style of art and stuff like that. And even I was a couple times was like, yeah, this isn't for me. I did finish it. I finished the game, but
Yeah,
it was very bizarre.
Yeah, exactly. It was yeah, just too bizarre. Shout out to Todd. Also said Inscription is dope. Nissa, I'm glad you're having fun with Zelda. I'm enjoying Link's Awakening, but I do not think I will be. I don't want to play as puzzle Zelda. That's the one part of the modern Zeldas that I hate is the puzzle crap. So I'm glad you're enjoying it. I'm going to have to pass on Echoes of Wisdom. Danero Primero asks, Jose, are you going to play the Alan Wake DLC, The Lake House? Are you an Alan Wake fan?
Yeah, I would love to. I love Alan Wake, so I need to play the last DLC. I didn't play that either, so I got plenty to do.
What are you installing, Chance?
He's showing off his platinum of Sifu. Just a small flex. Dan, did you find the name you're looking for?
Well, now you need to do it on PC.
The actor, game developer, producer, founder of Surgeon Studios. He was Alan of Hull in House of Dragon season 2. I believe he was also in.
He was who?
Alan of Hull. Abu Bakar Salim.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and Kyle did interview, or Kyle and Joe did interviews. Luke did interviews with them too as well.
I just finished watching that show. I have no idea.
Yeah, he's in it, and he's also, I think he's in Game of Thrones too. He's also the voice of Bayek in Assassin's Creed Origins. I don't know. Does that guy look familiar to you, Bubble Boy?
Oh, yeah.
So,
okay.
So Colin, shout out again, and he retweeted the tweet. Colin did an interview with him, and immediately I'm like, I gotta buy Tales of Concerazao. So I'm very excited to play it. Speaking of playing, let's jump into what have we been playing. Well, actually, let's just title this Starfield Impressions, or AKA Starfield Still Sucks, Shattered Space sucks, and Bethesda sucks.
Because the internet said so.
And Bethesda's over, and there's no joy left in video games. Show's over.
It's
Thanks,
a long
guys.
title, bro.
Jeez, yeah.
We'll see
Jose, did we
online.
have that many characters? We had to pay
How
for
are we
extra.
going to transcribe that?
We got limited.
Guys, what have we been playing, aka for 3 of us? I think Bacon has only played a little bit. He noped out of it and went back to his other game. But yes, I've put in about, I want to say 10 to 15 hours into Shattered Space. I've basically, I found 50 spots on the map, you guys. I've gone basically like everywhere on the planet at this point. I've got almost all the achievements unlocked. The only things I've left are main story campaigns and helping the side missions one. So I think I'm close towards the end at this point. I guess very quickly, and I got into a big debate about this with Matt Kennedy.
Yeah, you did.
On Twitter today in
Crazy guy.
our chat. I'm not going to address what was said there, but basically, if you can, go watch Kind of Funny Greg Miller's review on Shattered Space, because his enthusiasm and his joy of Starfield is infectious, and I think he does a great job explaining Shattered Space and Starfield. And I even wrote a comment on there about I think it was between like the 16-minute mark to the 22-minute mark is like Greg's, how he explained Starfield is how I wish everybody could experience Starfield, and that I wish everyone would play it or play the main campaign. But basically, he and this is exactly what Greg said, and I completely agree with him. Shattered Space is beautiful. For me on PC, it's ran exceptional. I think I only had one time where it crashed. It's fun to play still. I like the more focused experience. I like having Andreja there. I Jose, enjoy the moment-to-moment combat. When you play on PC, yes, Andreja did like that. When you play on PC and you've got those silky smooth frame rates, I'm playing a straight-up shooter, and it feels great. I like the shooting combat. I like jumping around in my jetpack. I don't even, hot take, I don't even use the Rev 8. I just jetpack everywhere. Jose, you're muted. So I have been having a blast in Shattered Space. It's more Starfield. So Greg said it's beautiful. It plays great. He likes the story. He loves having Andreza there. But in the end, it is more Starfield, for better or worse. If you like Starfield, you will like Shattered Space. If you didn't like Starfield, you're not going to like Shattered Space, and it's not going to change your mind. It is not a Far Harbor. It is not a. Actually, I shouldn't even say that. It's not a Erdtree. Nothing can compete with those levels. It's not a Phantom Liberty. It's not a Mass Effect, any of those DLCs from 2 to 3. But it's more Starfield, and I'm loving it. So, Jose, what are your overall thoughts?
So mine is not. I'm certainly not down on the game. I echo a lot of what Dan said, and I don't want to just be an echo chamber because that's not engaging to listen to. But here's what I would say: it starts out with a pretty spooky vibe. I was really, really
first
into
mission
that.
was. I agree.
Like I really, really liked that. And if I'm being super honest, I wish that it had
more of that.
stayed with that.
Yes.
It doesn't, and that's okay. Like it is. It makes sense why.
Jose, you're right. I forgot to mention that. A fantastic first mission.
Yeah, like it starts out on such a banger note. And I loved it, and I was like, I'm in. I love this game, and I played way longer than I should have on the first night because like I had to get up for work the next day. And then once you get past that, it opens up. No spoilers, don't worry about that. And it makes sense, and it does exactly what it says it's going to do, which is to deep dive into like the religion and background of House Varun, which is one of the factions in the game. And it does great. Like I've enjoyed playing everything that I did. There's nothing where I was like, this sucks. I don't want to do this. I've really enjoyed all of that. But Dan's absolutely right. It's not innovative in terms of what it's doing. It's not doing anything different. Even like the Rev 8, which I also agree, it is hot garbage. I do not like the Rev 8.
I never said it was garbage.
It steers like crap.
I think it's hot garbage. I'll say
worse
that.
than the Mako in Halo or
yes.
Halo in Mass
Yes,
Effect
I think
1.
it's worse than the Mako, dude. Straight up.
Reverse doesn't even work.
Yes. And to be fair, I haven't used the Rev 8 on a lot of other planets, so maybe that's unique to the planet that we're on or something like that with gravity. I don't know. I don't know if they built those physics like that. But I stopped doing it like that, and I'm like, Dan, I jetpack around and I'm having a great time. I like the game. I enjoy it. I enjoy the combat. But here's the thing, different than Dan, I have not explored every nook and cranny. I have basically just mainlined the story because that's what I'm interested in. And again, I'm perfectly happy. And I'm not judging Dan for spending his time there. I'm not judging Bubble Boy for not getting to play it. If you don't like Starfield, that's fine, man. I don't need to pander to you. If you did enjoy it, you'll enjoy this game. It is cool. And I also agree with Dan that like I played Starfield when it came out on my Series X, had a great time, zero complaints. I'm playing this now on PC. I do think it looks prettier for obvious reasons because I'm playing on a higher end PC, but it's not absolutely necessary in terms of the gameplay itself. It would have been fine to play on Xbox again. So if you didn't
point on that though, I've heard Series X is having a lot of issues like performance. Because Maddie said that. Gene Park posted a clip. Like apparently it's not running well on Xbox, which sucks because I've had like zero performance issues. Sorry, go ahead, Jose.
Yeah. And so that's what I'm saying is just I don't think it's revolutionary. I haven't beaten it, but I'm pretty sure I'm pretty close to the end. Like I don't want to say where I'm at because that's going to spoil kind of what happens a little bit, but it's a pretty clear indication that like I'm headed to the final space of it. And it's cool. I think it'll end. I don't think it's going to top. I don't think it's going to be my game of the year list. I don't think it's going to be something that I talk about to like lots of people who are like novice gamers. But for myself, I have enjoyed the game, and it's the perfect thing to kind of play in October. I think I'm only going to need like 5 or 6 hours to get through it, to be honest with you. And that's fine because I have plenty of other stuff to play. Yeah. I didn't really pay for this. Because I mean, I did buy the deluxe edition, but because of that, it feels like it was just an add-on for me.
Speaking of that, Jose, before I let you go, what would you give it number-wise out of 10? And what, how much do you think people should pay for this if they are interested? I'm just curious.
I think it's a 7 in my book, and I've said many a time, a lot of people don't agree with my tastes. Dan is one of them. Like talking about movie tastes, we are far apart. But in terms of money, what's the full price of it now? $30?
Yeah.
If you're not into Starfield, I still think you'd say is worth it for 15 to 20. Yeah, if you like Starfield, it's well worth the $30. I mean, again, think about it like you go to the movies for 2 hours, 3 hours, that's going to easily cost you $20 to $30. This is more triple, double that, and it's fun. It's a cool story. Again, I'm really enjoying that piece of it. And if you want to explore further, you can. If you don't, that's totally fine as well.
Jose, since you've played a lot of the main campaign, I've played a lot of the side quests. There was one. Did you play the dual one? That was pretty funny. So Silken, it says, so it's more Starfield even in the high and low of quests. That was my biggest gripe with the game, not consistent enough on quality. What do you think about the main quest so far?
So here's what I would say, I'm like Silken. If you want to DM me, I'm happy to share like specifics.
Yeah,
I just don't want to
don't.
spoil it for people.
Yeah.
What I would say is there's a piece of what I did that, I'll be super honest with you, felt like a fetch quest at one point where I was like, okay, I know exactly what I'm doing here. I didn't hate doing it because I still enjoyed the journey to go do the very simple thing and go back to where I needed to go. But it wasn't revolutionary. It wasn't like, oh, I'm going to go discover this one thing. Now, there was another quest that I found that was still part of the main thing that was awesome, that I like really liked. And it wasn't even that long, but it was super cool to do and different than what I had seen. But so there is a little bit of some of that variability, but I'm not trying to be just like defending Bethesda outright. I think there are flaws in the game, but I think that's how it's purposely designed, that it's meant to be this world that you immerse yourself in. And sometimes the real world is boring and sometimes the real world is really awesome. So I don't think you can appreciate those really awesome moments without having some of the droll ones. I don't think it's possible to have a game like this, that's open world like this design like this, that's always doing amazing things. You have to have a little bit of both.
Yeah.
It's just, what's a bummer is that there's no way to filter that. There's no way to say, like, in the main line, I'm trying to save time, give me the highlights that are the cool stuff. You kind of inevitably run into weird spots where that doesn't happen, and that is a problem. Like, that's hard to do, because even managing like the quest log, those that have played Starfield, it's a lot, dude. Like,
it's a lot better now. I don't know if you noticed, there are like a bunch of tabs now, Jose. I noticed them. Like, it's way better.
It is way better.
They did a
But
great
even
job.
still, dude, I have like 16,
Really?
17 main quests there from the whole game. And so, like, when things happen and I go to different places, like, sometimes I get lost and I accidentally trigger to follow this quest and I didn't realize that I had done that. And so I'm going to different ones. So I see the flaws. I agree with Silken at 100%. But if you don't love Starfield, wait for a sale. Truly, just wait. If you like Starfield, I think it's worth the money, especially if you're looking for something to kill time until like Black Ops 6 or something like that. It's fun, man.
Shout out to Nessa. I didn't know you were watching. Thanks for watching this. I was wondering who was there. Yeah, it's very beautiful. I've enjoyed my time with it, and thanks for stopping by and watching. But as far as my rating, really quick, I think overall Starfield for me, I don't think it's better than Elder Scrolls. Do I think would I rate this higher than Fallout 4? Maybe. Overall, I'd probably give Starfield as a whole with Shattered Space an 8 out of 10, maybe a 7.5 for the DLC. But to be fair, everyone's like, oh, why does this DLC suck? Bethesda makes such great DLCs. I can't think of any great Bethesda DLCs besides maybe Dawn Guard. And the only reason I thought Dawn Guard was cool, Chance, was because you were killing
The vampires.
Like, I like, to me, even like Far Harbor was cool. I remember nothing from Far Harbor. Nuka World was a cool setting. I don't remember why I was there. So I don't know why people are associating like these great DLCs. Yeah, they were cool, but I don't think Bethesda's made a DLC that was at a level of where like, oh my God, this is absolutely amazing. And everyone's comments about Skyrim, I just played Skyrim last year and got 1,000 out of 1,000, or 2 years ago, whatever it was, on PC. Skyrim was great for 2011. Go back and play that game and tell me that the way that plays is better than Starfield. You're out of your effing mind. It might be more interactive. The gameplay, Chance, the combat, the movement to movement. I don't know. I'll come back to you in a second, Chance, because I know you haven't played it yet.
Yeah.
Bacon, really quick. What are your thoughts on Shattered Space? Not enough, apparently, because you moved on. You were like,
no, I haven't moved on. I'm in the process of trying to beat something else, and I'm afraid if I leave
That is
it,
clout.
I'm
Stick
gonna
with it.
lose my
I got you.
yes.
Your
Because this is
edge.
a timing-based game, and I've put so
Did
many
you finish
hours.
the first mission? How about that?
Yes, I mean, I went. First mission was well. Once I figured out how to trigger the DLC, because I was early and it wasn't all over the dang internet, and I flew right by the place to trigger it, and I'm like, where do I need to go? And then I had trouble landing at said place. Anyways, first mission was awesome. Landing on planet, the planet was incredible. I loved
Definitely the cool.
every
one of the
piece
coolest
about it.
parts.
I'm looking up at the sky and I'm like,
Yeah.
wow. I mean, it's hands. And then I went through the important ceremony thing. I'm trying not to spoil. And I started the first mission. So and then I got into that mission. I died a few times because I'm only a level 36, and so when they say you're recommended
yeah.
to be a 35 to go into that, and no, it's true. You will get your cheeks clapped if you're not the right level going into that DLC. So I don't know how anyone would start it and go straight to that, because you would just get rolled. I have problems with the standard Bethesda jank, because when I run too fast and my wife Sarah can't keep up with me, and I get into a room and I start having conversations with people, and she's outside the room, and when her dialogue comes up, it shows the door that's closed and no Sarah's there, but I hear her talking behind the door. Anyone else have that?
Yeah, but see,
Okay,
but for me, Bacon, I have it on like the third person. I don't have it where it zooms in. So
Okay.
I'll just see her in the distance while I'm just like roaming around looking at people. I can't tell which one's more immersive, to be honest with you.
And so my only qualm with the game is it's so dialogue heavy early in this DLC, setting up the foundation, go talk to this guy, go talk to this guy. It's a good 35, 40 minutes of going around talking to everyone to start all these quests.
Oh,
I'm a guy who likes to just get right into it.
Bacon,
So
can you not just press A and read everything?
Yeah, but-
Unlike Ghost of Tsushima, where you can't skip any kind of dialogue at all or just read quickly and move on.
So I'm not off of Starfield. I have to finish this game. I've put
Gotcha.
24 hours in the last week, because it's now become a personal thing for me to beat this
Finish.
final boss. That I got the final boss to phase 2, and I got him down to less than half health in phase 2. Didn't know there was a phase 2. Got surprised with that the other night. Curse of the Dead
Pulled a
Gods.
Radon on you, huh?
Yeah. It's just a Hades style hack and slash. beat 'em
Oh
up.
yeah.
Great, they're awesome. And those are my favorite kinds of games. And I started Starfield, and then I was like, I have to go finish this game before I dig deep in. But I'm also coming from it, not a huge Bethesda guy. I'm not a Skyrim guy. I'm not a Fallout guy. I've tried them all. I just don't get the feels and
This
go
is the
back
only
and
one that connected with you.
right. And I fundamentally love Starfield, and you're right, it is more Starfield. I don't see how people are so hard on it, because they hold Skyrim at such a
The
pedestal
member
up there
bearers for
with
Skyrim, man.
up there with Mass Effect and stuff, where they're like nothing. I mean, Mass Effect's the greatest game ever made, but they hold it up there like it's on such a pedestal that a lot of people didn't even give Starfield a fair chance. And it's still fundamentally a fantastic game. And the physics and the stuff that Todd and company pulled off in this game are exceptional.
Yes.
It is exceptional.
And the graphics.
And the Rev 8 is hot garbage.
Thank you, Bacon.
Well, here's
That
the
is
So
the
much
Mako-
looking forward to that.
The Mako
Stop talking about the Rev 8.
handles so much better.
I have a question for you, Bacon. You
Okay.
say that you came into this not playing the other ones, and everyone holds Skyrim to such high regard. I am truly worried that I don't think people like Bethesda games as much as they think they do. I think they liked Skyrim back on 2011. This is, by all means, no, you're not on one area like Skyrim or one city or state like in Fallout. But in general, this plays very similar to those games. I'm concerned that people don't like Bethesda games as much as they think they do. And
I don't think
I am
people like
truly
RPGs
concerned.
as much as
I
they
am
think they do.
truly concerned. And I think Mr. Matty Plays and shout out to Cognito and Defining Duke were talking about this. Like, I don't know where Bethesda is going to go next. I think if they release the next Elder Scrolls and it's just Skyrim in a different spot, I don't know how that's going to hold up, you guys. Because I feel like if you don't like Starfield, what do you want from them? You just don't like Bethesda games. So
Well, I
Well,
don't
you know-
remember.
you know
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
You can- no, you go.
I was going to say, I don't remember when Skyrim released and what it did so
2001.
revolutionary. I mean, I don't remember that time. I was playing Dude Bro shooters at that time. So I can't remember what was so revolutionary about Skyrim and why it's so good and held in such high esteem.
cool quests, but it was exactly like the way it plays out, or dialogue choices.
Right. So
Cool
what I've played of
ideas.
all the
Good
games.
hold on, let me finish making good factions, good side faction. There are definitely way better faction quests in that. But I thought the main campaign, you're just some guy who's chosen to have dragon powers.
Right.
That's the gist of it, right? You've played some of it.
Yeah.
And the setting,
got
I
to
think
the
the
end.
setting got to a lot of people, exploring the caves and how
That's fair.
that was, compared to these bases in space. But like, it plays the same. And I argue that Starfield plays way better as a shooter than Fallout and even the archery and the magic. And guys, do you guys remember Skyrim's hand-to-hand combat? You're literally like everyone's making fun of Avowed. Well, guess what Avowed looks like? Skyrim. Okay, like that's the combat we're talking about. So back then, it was such a huge leap from Oblivion. Bacon is what I'd say, graphically and all those.
And don't get me wrong, I
options
have like
and
56
skills.
hours in Skyrim. I played a lot of Skyrim. I'm pretty close to the end. But I, like you said, I don't think it's any different fundamentally than Skyrim was. Now, I didn't get into the side quests and the factions like you guys are so beloved. I just wanted to get through the game, but it still feels like a Bethesda game. Fundamentally, it just is a Bethesda game. So I also do not understand the hate. I flat cannot understand why people can look at Starfield just because you can't fly your ship off planet. Like that's some like deal breaker. Like I can't fly from the planet to the space, and that's just, it's just so stupid. Sometimes I just concerns me about video games now.
Yeah, I have the same concerns. I want to shout out to Todd. Here's another good point. Skyrim made open world RPGs, Western RPGs, approachable. I would definitely agree. It became mainstream. Like Skyrim was a phenomenon when it came out, and then what he said versus the other ones. Yes, the other ones were way more technical and not as approachable. I completely agree, Todd. That's a great point. And then Silken, I completely agree. Bethesda main campaigns are worse than the side factions. I agree, except for Starfield. I think Starfield's main campaign, and I preach this all the time, is their best, and it's not even close. And it destroys, as much as I love UC Vanguard, that's probably the only real side faction that I loved. I thought Freestar sucked. Ryujin was kind of cool, and the SysDef one was good, but both of those don't compare to the main. Starfield's main campaign blew me away, especially when you had to make that choice. I was like, whoa, like they had never done something like that.
Yeah.
Bacon looks tired. Are you good, Bacon? De Niro wants to know.
And I'll have a hat on, so my hair's
And
disheveled.
Todd said, I think Bethesda games feel a bit more dated. Yeah, they absolutely do. But that's why some people love them, Todd. And again, I am concerned about Elder Scrolls because what do you guys want? Like you either like Bethesda games or you don't. And I don't want them to be like other games. I don't want them to be a third person Dragon Age or a third person.
Then you shouldn't be concerned about Elder
Souls game.
Scrolls 6, 'cause
I'm not. I'm saying
you just said you were.
The general public is going to try. I can see it.
You're
coming
concerned
already.
that everyone's going to hate it.
Jose, do you have something really quick to add before
I just
go
want
to
to.
Bubble Boy?
I think it'll be interesting for Elder Scrolls to what happens with Avowed, which you brought up. Like I
point.
think
Good
that will
point.
be a good
That's a
gauge
great-
as to whether they stick with that style and if it does well, or if there's some piece they can manipulate, or if they're going to have to totally rebuild it. That's what'll be interesting.
And that goes back before I give it to Bubble Boy. Sorry, one more. Todd, I asked earlier, do you think Starfield gets more content or they move resources to Elder Scrolls? Dude, they've already been working on Elder Scrolls. They have people who are working on Elder Scrolls actively and have been for a while. I think no, Todd. I think we're going to get one more DLC. I would think out of Starfield. I would hope. I would like to see the series continue. I think a sequel to Starfield, you guys, has a lot of potential because they can learn, hey, we're only going to have 3 planets. They're going to be these big open world, detailed, explorable areas that you claim to like from other games. But I don't know. And Matt kind of asked that earlier in our chat, that what set off our own little rant about, do you see the Open Critic and Metacritic scores being in the 50s and 60s for Shattered Space? And I was just like, I'm overseeing and arguing about crap like that. But no, Todd, I think they've been working on Elder Scrolls. And back to Jose's point, they're already committed to whatever they're doing. I don't think they can change anything regardless of what happens with the Avowed. Bubble Boy, finally to you. You have not played it. 1, can you tell me why you haven't played it? 2, can you tell me realistically a DLC from Bethesda games where you're like, wow, that was up there for me? Because I
loved Nuka World. I thought Nuka World was
what was that about?
extremely well done. Going to the Disneyland of Nuka Cola,
Fallout,
in Fallout. I can remember creeping in down the side. I remember going to like the zoo. I remember going to the like planetarium
it
part
was
of
a
things.
fun setting.
Yeah, and I really liked it, and I remember a lot about it. And then, as you pointed out, I remember the vampires of Dawnguard, but
Do you remember
I remember
Dragon
you could
Board?
turn into a Vanguard.
You could turn
Or
into a
a Vanguard,
vampire and
you
you could turn into a werewolf, but you could already do that before the werewolf part
So
before.
no. I haven't because, like Bacon, I need to finish Baldur's Gate 3. If I don't, I'm never
Yes.
going to, and not because I'll
Yes.
forget how to play or anything like that, but because I have to, and I'm done with the game. I just can't bring myself to finish it. Like, I don't know how to explain that to you. The end is I'm trying
Bacon
to
quit
think
on
of-
it too. He quit on Act 3 too.
and that's I'm not. Don't say 2 because I'm not quitting. Like, what was Andromeda, right? Where you're trying to get. Or no,
Oh,
Mass Effect
God.
3, where you're trying to get all these different like troops together to help you at the end. It's
Hey,
kind
don't
of-
you be dissing Mass Effect 3,
No,
Baba
I'm
boy.
not. I'm not. Listen, it's not a diss at all. I'm saying I keep being like, well, I want them to be there with me, and I want these guys to be there with me, and I gotta go make sure they're gonna be like. I desperately want to finish it. I cannot bring myself to, which is a good thing, right? Like, I just want to keep playing it. And then I also felt like I absolutely had to finish the Plucky Squire so I could give it a gamer grade that we can save for next week.
Yes, please let's say
And
that.
so I don't want. I want to invest in it because I'm
Good.
positive I'm going to like it. I am really sad to hear the Rev 8 sucks.
But
The reverse doesn't work on it.
but Bubble Boy, you're gonna be on PC and you're gonna be silky smooth frame rates. And you're gonna be
It doesn't
jetpacking
matter.
all
I'm
over
I
on
the
have,
PC.
and because I'll go
The
on-
reverse doesn't work.
I have
What?
played. I keep picking Starfield up every once in a while. It was a day one download for me when I got the PC, and I play it every once in a while. And I have a control scheme set just for it on my Halo
By the way,
controller. That
Isn't it ridiculous that everyone's like, why is the jump button? Why? Hey guys,
it's
unlike
not
other
for me.
games, unlike other games,
Boom, right here, baby.
yeah, or you can remap
Yeah.
every control in the game. So I put jump to A and then I put select as Y. So when I'm looting, I'm just pressing Y instead of pressing A like an idiot.
I
And I
never
still
even
jump with
thought
my
of doing
A.
that.
You can
and
rebind everything. One of the
you can
main things is you can rebind everything. Sorry. So
and
Bob,
just what a dumb thing to complain about because you can you can rebind everything.
yeah, but most games I'm arguing don't do that. And I don't understand why they don't let you
Sure,
rebind.
Starfield, you can
Okay.
get yourself one of
Quickly
these
before we
elite
get into the best
wireless
food,
2s.
well, I mean, but it literally in the game you can rebind everything. Is there a must-play list of missions in Starfield? I'll say this, Todd. You have to complete the main that's campaign. Do that last because I don't want to spoil things for you.
Or
Do
not.
it last.
Not if no. Hear me out. No, you don't
You're
have
a good
to because
point.
if
Well-
you just want to see whether or not you're gonna like that game,
Yes.
you could
Good point.
digest it.
You're
You
right.
could do that, and then if you liked it,
There's a
Yes.
point where you can save and he
Yep.
can go back and
No,
save
just-
a lot.
Just
Save
New
a,
Game
no,
Plus?
no. I don't want to
going.
spoil things, Todd. Yes, main campaign first. I agree. But if he wants to do one faction, can we all agree UC Vanguard, right?
Yeah, but wasn't there that? I like that quest where you had to go find that lost ship that was like a banker ship, and there
Well,
was a lot
that's
of
like a
money on it.
random.
Yeah,
I never
and
did that one.
I thought that mission was super dope.
Well, here's the thing. I got to that ship and just went on it. I didn't even have a mission, and I just was exploring. I'm like, what's going on here? I
Yeah.
didn't even know that it was tied. Main quest. I think one side faction would be UC Vanguard. And
Can
then-
I argue for the Freestar Collective because
No,
you
you
get the
cannot.
cool ship at the end? That gives you one of the.
I agree. Freestar Collective does give you the best free ship if you complete it. It's also boring and it sucks. It sucks. Let's be real. UC Vanguard, which is right there in New Atlantis,
Yeah.
and the main campaign, Todd.
And
And
I
just
agree.
remember, Todd,
UC
save a lot,
Vanguard.
save a lot, do a lot of saves
Oh,
in case something happens.
I mean, that's every
have like
Bethesda game,
every
right?
Bethesda game. You have like 50 saves, and I actually, before we got on, messed up something, and I had to do like 15 minutes worth of running around.
funny story. I fired it up to start the DLC, and I was trying to remember the controls, and I accidentally hucked a grenade on New Atlantis.
Do that all the
And
Yeah,
time.
that's what I
All
did.
the
I
time.
killed
That's what I did
someone.
too. I killed an innocent,
And next
I
thing
had
you
the
know,
bounty. Yes, that's what happened to
every
me.
gun in New Atlantis was shooting at me as I'm sprinting to get to the subway, to get to the starport. And then I get out of the subway at the starport,
Yep.
and everyone's lighting me up again. I'm like, so I reload the save,
Yep, and you
it
auto-saved
saved
right
past
there.
that
Yes,
time,
that's-
and everyone's pissed at me
Yes,
again. And I
yes.
just dead sprinted bought my
Bacon.
Rev 8 and got on my
That's
ship
so
and got out of
funny
there.
you say that because the exact same thing. I
Oh
was
my
killing
God.
some bad guys at this like crashed site, right? And somebody was shooting at me. I didn't know they were shooting at one of the really bad. There's like these really bad guys. They're like, I don't want to say their names, but it's for an achievement. And so I shot this girl, and it was a girl I had saved in a side mission and gave her like this armor and gun bounty. Everybody hates you. Andreas is like, I despise
So
you.
mad at you.
We
right?
need to
Break
talk.
up with me. I was like, oh,
Sarah
tell me
almost
I'm like,
didn't
tell me
marry
I have
me
a quick
after that.
save. 0 quick save. So I had to go back and do everything. It was the worst. Todd,
Do you
save
roll
what?
around with Sarah in a bikini?
Not yet. I just
What? You
married
can
her.
do that?
I just, me and her mom just
I'm
had a
sure
nice
I showed
ceremony.
you guys the.
No, you didn't show me that.
On
One
the
more thing,
beach.
Todd.
It's
If
in
you
a
want to do
locker on a
a
beach.
side quest, another cool side quest is Ryujin Industries when you get to Neon. Neon's a very cool planet. I say he should get to at least Neon in the main campaign and then
didn't
venture
love
out.
that. So I didn't love that faction.
Well,
Yeah,
I'm just
I
saying,
didn't like
he
Neon
says
much
he likes
either.
side
Well,
quests.
You
The
get
main-
some cool stuff from it and some of
Yes,
the cooler
cool
outfits. And
Yes, I was going to
weapons.
say things to wear. Not the
It
best.
wasn't
I agree.
fun.
Okay, but Todd, last point for Starfield. So the main side quest, UC Collective, UC Vanguard, sorry, is right there, right at New Atlantis. They basically can recruit you. Neon has Ryujin, and then Freestar's on Aquila City. Does give you the best ship, and then the other faction is UC Sistef. You have to do something and get arrested, I believe, correct? And then someone will approach you to go undercover. It's cool, Todd. If you stick with it, man, it's so good.
Yeah,
Anyway,
the mission I was talking about was on System.
and there's random side quests that some of the best ones that I don't want to spoil just pop up out of nowhere, dude. I don't know. Anyway, guys, great discussion about video games, Starfield. We'll save, sorry, to Bubble Boy, his Plucky Squire Gamer Grade. I want to
Yeah,
have
no
a
biggie.
good time for that. Oh my gosh, sorry, I forgot to say, let's close the show like we always do with the best food we had this week. Sorry, we're going to go for another half an hour because I need to talk about the best food I had in, I don't know if you knew this, Todd, Bacon, Jose, Chance. I was in
You're fired.
Waikiki.
When were you
in
gonna tell us that?
Honolulu, Hawaii. And I will save that for next week as well. But I will just say the best food I had this week. I say I want to get back to Burrito Express, and I've got good news for you. Not only did I get 2 breakfast burritos, and also add 2 pizzas to the list from tonight from Domino's. Shout out to Domino's. Jose, they switched back. They switched their red hot sauce. Jose.
Was there a sign up? Like, how do you know?
It's back, Jose. It was.
Oh my God. I'll be
I don't know if they got
right-
feedback or something.
Yeah,
They
lost Jose.
switched back to the good.
For the audio listeners,
They switched
Jose
to a new
is
red
in the
sauce,
car.
Jose, and I'm like, ladies and gentlemen,
We got him.
It's like there's a party in my mouth and everyone's
Ladies and
invited.
gentlemen, we got him.
I don't know.
and
Where,
I was like, we're back, Jose, and
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
I'm telling you, check out Burrito Express again, Jose, the next time. I mean, you're not that far from Bear Creek, so and tell me if it's different for you because it was phenomenal last night. So
I'm
that
so
quickly,
sad.
that was the best food I had this week. Bubble Boy, what about you? What was the best food for you?
Happy for you. I am happy to announce that it was not the best food of the week. However, I do need to give a review of the Kelsey Mix cereal. So, Melanie, one of my coworkers, was
Very interested to hear about this.
yeah, she was kind enough to pick me up a box. She said her and her husband Chris both loved it. Yeah, I don't know how you guys didn't find this immediately. Sorry. So of those 3, Cinnamon Toast Crunch, Reese's, and Lucky Charms, one of them I haven't tasted yet in any of the bites, and I've had two bowls now. Can you guess which one there? You don't
Cinnamon
even
Toast
know
Crunch.
are there. No, it's the Lucky Charms. They fall off. They are absent altogether unless you purposely, strategically, like I wrote to you guys earlier, unless you strategically find a bite that you have equal parts Reese's, CT Crunch, and some marshmallows, because the cereal part of Lucky Charms you can never taste.
that's mine.
Yeah, you're not going to taste anything other than the Reese's 90% of the time, which isn't a bad thing because it's a great cereal. Reese's it's awesome, right?
The peanut butter just overpowers.
It absolutely overpowers completely. What's nice though is sometimes, and then if you can just get this little hint of cinnamon, it's like sprinkling some cinnamon on Reese's, and it's not bad. Not my favorite though. Glad I have the box. Definitely going to keep the box for nostalgia's sake, and glad I have it. But
What's the number?
what's
The rating number?
What's the number?
For the cereal?
Oh God. I got to finish the box because I felt like I had two different. No, hear me out. I felt like
First of all, how have you not finished the box? You don't need a whole box in one sitting like me.
It's family size.
That's
box.
a lot of sugar.
Mr. Gasman.
Again.
Yeah, no, I felt like and I need to do more research. I had a different experience with the milk on the first bowl as the second bowl, which is strange. I know. I need more research.
Todd Oxford said he cannot comment on my company product. Well, I can tell you one thing: it sucks.
What's his? Todd works for General Mills.
Yeah. We talked. Oh, you weren't on the show yet. Or you were on your
Buffalo?
retreat.
You live in Buffalo, Todd?
We talked about when he did the
in
stuffed
Minnesota.
nachos. I was a big fan.
Let's go to bacon because he's been. Yeah, God, he's
It is
So-
bacon.
I set up a plan, Dan. I was golfing late the other night, and I asked the wife, I said, hey, on the way home, let's stop by Little C's and pick up a terrible hot and ready pizza so I can eat it and review it. And my wife absolutely forbade that action. She said, we will not be stopping.
You're right. She's
at
like,
Little Caesars.
we need to get the app, put in a bacon and cheese,
Negative.
fresh made pizza. Bacon.
So my
bacon.
wife said, I'll meet you halfway and we'll go to Shake Shack. So we went to Shake Shack, by far the better food.
That's
but
not even
I
halfway, that's
tried.
superior.
I tried to get a Little Caesars pizza, cardboard crap, so I can add something to our tally here because my pizzas get rejected every time. And I tried, Dan, for you, and she said no.
Bacon.
And I don't blame her for saying no.
Bacon, here's what I'm going to do. For Christmas time,
Okay.
I will order you guys pizzas and
Please
crazy
don't.
bread.
And
from
Jose,
them. That's
please
what I'm
take
going to do
note
for
of
his
that.
gift. I'm going to
In
have it,
her-
and I'm going to have it
In
delivered.
Nell's
to him.
evaluation in April.
I don't evaluate now.
Oh, shut-
whoever does.
Before we get to Jose, let's get some of the chat in here. Nessa said the best pizza I ever had was from Fresh Way Pizza in Worcester.
Rochester.
And then she also wants to give us Runkle of the Bailey hot sauce. When it comes to the U.S., I'll let you guys know. I know you guys like hot sauce. We do like hot sauce. Deja Vu said, banger food for me this week, guys. Costco's had an Indian-style butter chicken and naan. Added some rice to it. Bueno.
Yeah.
All right.
We get that. I
And
know
Todd,
exactly which one he's talking
by the way,
about.
I remember Todd was laughing and he liked when I said that the post cereal Fruity Pebbles waffles was absolute trash. So we see where his allegiance clearly lies, where he can comment on competitors, but not on
Corporate
his
espionage.
own products.
Insider
And,
trading.
I think that's it for the best food. Did B say something before he left or no?
Yeah, he'll said he'll be right back. That's what he said.
Oh, sorry. I missed this for Silken. Silken said preferred the pirate faction. Great weapons. See, I went with Sistefs. I was too good of a person, Silken. I couldn't go with the Crimson Fleet.
No.
Todd, you got to play the factions. Jose, what was the best food you had this week?
So I lived it up last weekend, gentlemen. Because here's the truth: my wife went out of town, and
That means
before
you're
she
taking the
left,
kids out every night.
she looked me directly in the eye and said, she said, please make sure they eat at least one vegetable this weekend. And I said, I promise. And I went like this.
French fries, potatoes, and vegetables,
potatoes.
right?
Sweet potato fries.
All jokes aside, it was great. I loved hanging out with my girls all weekend. It actually was a really, really fun weekend. I went back to Wendy's though, because
He's going back again.
Third time?
well,
He's
there's
like, I got 5.
I was like, I feel like I have to try this again because I think maybe I was having an off day, and I tried the 4 junior bacon cheeseburgers, and it was fine. I was happy. It was great, but it was. I still maintain my position. I have to just reiterate that again. I'm sorry I keep bringing it up. Dan, I'm a little worried that you're going to have to eat it. Like, as a friend who cares about
He's
you,
just not gonna finish it. That's all that's gonna happen.
it's a
No,
lot,
by
man.
the way, I did hear Logan's Pro Strat smashing them together.
No,
You
not
didn't
in
say
my
I
house.
couldn't do that.
But are you a man? Are you trying to
Right,
win?
are
Here?
you
You
gonna-
said you were going to eat 8. Now you're trying to learn strategy.
If it's all going in there the same way,
You're trying to do Joey Chestnut stuff over here.
what?
No,
Right.
absolutely
Yes.
Dip
what
it in
difference does
water.
it make?
not. It's about pride. Why
And
did it?
enjoyment. You should enjoy. You're never gonna want to eat a JBC.
But they're
again
going to go
after that.
cold. Let's be real. I might have to do the shove strat.
Nope.
Shove smash.
We won't
together.
allow
It's
it.
going to be live on stream when we hit 500. We're almost to 300.
Dude, shout out. We're at the 295. People
great.
want to see the Wendy's challenge.
Yeah, weird
agree.
how after all those nipples last week we didn't skyrocket, huh?
Other thing.
Wait. Live update from Dinero Primero. I asked my wife how many JBCs I could eat and max out, and she said 8. But
Interesting.
That would be Dinero. We might have to have.
Feel free to join us, bud.
We
Let's
might
do
have to have a
Wendy's challenge,
live
buddy.
eat off.
And make sure your wife subscribes to the show so we can.
Yeah, make it happen.
That
But
sounds
other-
like the greatest idea we've ever had.
I agree.
I
Maybe we bring it back yearly.
God, I support that.
Also, we went to Papa John's. It was great pizza, man. I like Papa John's.
I did too. Remember when Chance made fun of us? For
I-
that?
I do.
Okay,
I do remember that.
it was a funny South Park drop, and
Every day he
it's
dropped
just
that.
not my favorite. Is all. I will happily eat Papa John's whenever it's put in front of me.
So those were great. But best thing I had this week, hands down, because that was our Saturday meal. Like literally, I asked the girls, I said, "Where do you guys want to go to dinner night?" And Scarlett me was like, "Popeyes." Penelope was like, "Seconded." I was like, "I'm getting my keys. Let's go." So I had a great time spending my time with my daughters. But on the note of talking about games for kids and how I told you don't ask me because I'm not a great parent. I watched Hercules with my kids, the Disney one. They had never seen it. Great film, by the way. If you haven't watched that in a long time, really, really good Disney film. But we also watched Clash of the Titans, not the
good
new one, not the new one from like a couple years ago, but the classic one, 1975, I think, or something like that. Because they were kind of into the Greek mythology stuff after Hercules, and I figured like, hey, this is really old, like it's going to be tame enough. They were definitely laughing at like some of the claymation monsters and stuff like that. But a pro tip, because it turns out I must have only been watching it on like not cable for the last like part of my life. There's a significant amount of nudity in that movie, and so I'll be honest. Both I have 2 daughters, right? And it is female nudity, so it wasn't like a huge deal, because like, but it just was like it was one of those moments where I was like, oh no,
Just
Thank
don't
God
just,
mom's
just,
side
you
here.
just- you
Don't
just
tell
say,
your mom.
what? Well, I don't know what's going on.
And I don't even think they phased them. Like they were just like, I don't care. Like what's
Yeah,
what's
in
the
Europe, that's like normal over there. They're all counting.
story? Europe. I don't know.
Shout out to the chat one more time. Shout out to Todd. Shout out to Dinero. Shout out to Silkenit. Shout out to Nessa Howard. Have we modded these people already? We need to mod them.
Do we
on our
need
YouTube.
mods?
Yeah, we
Our
need. Shout out
chat's
to
not
Deja.
active enough to me.
Also, shout out. Todd went against company policy and did say he does love Fruity Pebbles and Honeycomb, and those are 2 of the top 5 right there. You guys all laugh at me when I say Honeycomb's top 5.
Honeycomb's
I love
great.
honeycomb.
I do
It's
not laugh
shocking
at that.
for top
Go
5.
get
Dude.
it. It's better than you remember, everybody out there. Gentlemen, this has been the Nerd Chat episode 179. Starfield hate. Not in my house. My name is Daddy Diwali. You can follow me at Daddy Diwali across all social media. You can follow the show. I don't even know what I just said, at the Nerd Chat Podcast. Shout out to Chris 1H1D. I think I'm gonna get a WRX soon.
Good choice.
But really, that just means I'm going to talk about it for the next 6 months. Chipotle Bear, where can people find you?
For the next week, starting Tuesday, you can find me in Disney World. I'll be taking my family to Florida next week. So I will not be on the show, but we have a very special guest lined up.
Whoa. Are you going during your fall break or not during your fall
Not
break?
during my fall break,
Yeah.
so that I can come back
Ooh.
and rest for my fall break.
Pro
Pro
strat.
strat. So I will not be here next week, but we have a really awesome guest lined up thanks to Bubble Boy, which is fantastic. That'll be a secret, but tell your friends to show up for it. In the meantime, getting through homecoming week the next 2 days, which I cannot wait till after Saturday is done. You can always find me online, Chipotle _bear or Chipotle Bear. Always feel free to reach out. And again, guys, thank you for joining us. Again, please spread the word. We're trying to get to 500 so that we can make Dan eat 8 junior bacon cheeseburgers.
And Danero.
And Daenerys, if you want to jump in, bud, we'll add you on the stream. No problem, bud.
And
Welcome.
also, shout out to Jose for taking yet another one for the team annually here, or he does it multiple times throughout the year. If you want to go to the most awkward social situation ever, go chaperone a high school dance.
Dinky. Yeah.
X
That's where you
Bacon
can find me.
Gaming, where can people find you?
You can find me on Twitter and all your gaming things at XBacon Gaming. I do feel I didn't have any hot takes today. I don't think I gave Joe any ammunition. I did reference.
We
you
don't
can
like this
still-
version of X Bacon Gaming.
I do.
All right?
I did put it out there that you can still, in fact, order a PlayStation 5 Pro a week after the pre-orders went live.
A statement of fact.
It's a niche product. I am literally Wario64 and all the people out there. You can still get one right now on the PS Store, Joe. So if you want one, go get one.
Shout
need to
out
sell those.
to Subdued X Bacon Gaming. Shout out to Dinero. Dinero, Jose, will you copy and paste that question he asked earlier because we didn't address it? The one you said you were going to get, it's up there. And also, will you take this one? Has anyone ever? This is going to be a warm up next week. Has anyone ever accidentally beat Starfield Shattered Space last night, and I hated it. I know exactly what you're talking
Stumbled
about.
right through.
Bubble Boy and Seven, where can people find you?
They can find me driving past the, listen to this, empty drive-through line at the brand new Parker In-N-Out Burger location. I was getting gas next to it today. Yeah, empty. Literally empty. I was there for probably 7 minutes getting gas. Not
Then you
one
gotta go.
single car had gone through it. There were people coming in and out, and all the little
When did this open?
workers, like a month ago. I literally didn't even know that it had opened yet because you can't see into where the drive-through is from Parker Road.
What
You
time
just
was
have to,
this?
4:30. So
Early
I
dinner?
should have been.
Did you go in and get yourself a double?
No, Ashley.
You gotta go. You gotta go when it's like that. Bubble Boy, 'cause
Ashley
otherwise
was
it's the worst.
already at Good Times, in fact, and I got a Big Daddy Bacon cheeseburger. So
Good. That's the right answer.
exactly. But I was floored, and there had to have been 8 workers outside in line, just like, hey, we're here. And then as I was driving out, I saw one of them run up to a car. 7 minutes, not a single person. So what does that tell you?
Fascinating.
Thank you for that story. As always, Starborn players and Salty Burger In-N-Out lovers, see you in the stars and see you online.
See you online.
See you online.
Softer, gentler bacon says, "See you online."
See you online. No, not today. Not in my house.
The Nerd Chat is an Xbox podcast celebrating all things gaming, food, and the good old days. You can follow the show at The Nerd Chat across all social media. The show was created by Daniel Wolenzik, and you can follow him at Daddy D. Wally. The lead producer and co-host is Jose Martinez, and you can follow him at Chipotle_Bear. And former intern, recently promoted co-host Jason Jarrett can be found at X Bacon Gaming. If you'd like to find out more about the show, please visit nerdchatmedia.com. And as always, see you online.